Hello, everyone. My name is Ross Winton. I'm the invertebrate biologist with Texas Parks and Wildlife, and I'm just going to be giving you guys a quick snapshot of what we have started in Texas, where we're going to be heading, and what we hope to accomplish as we develop a monitoring network in the state of Texas. So about a year and a half ago, several native bee-minded folks and myself all got together with the goal of developing a monitoring network, determining the next best steps for conservation in the state of Texas, and how we'd really do that. And we're still very early in this conversation as we try to tease out the best steps forward. We're really going to be relying a lot on what the national RCN is developing and hoping to become a part of that in Texas. But just trying to develop the network, develop kind of the support that we're going to need in order to launch something like that statewide. And you can see here all those partners from different universities, different agencies, different collaborators, experts. And we're very, very blessed to have a lot of experts and a lot of folks in Texas. The climate is really ripe to develop a collaborative network to shoot towards that goal of conserving native bees in Texas. We currently have 16 conservation priority bee species in the state. You can see kind of how they're broken up taxonomically there. Most of our current funding has been focused on assessing additional species. We actually have a grant right now with the University of North Texas in Eleanor-Lichtenberg to assess more than 500 of our almost 1,000 species in the state. And we're really focusing on endemics, or those species that have regional distributions, just to focus on those species that Texas really bears a lot of the responsibility to conserve and manage those species. The way we've kind of started this is, in order to take this journey, we really need, the first step is to identify which species we're going to be working on. So which species are found in Texas. And that really, estimates are anywhere from 890 to over 1,100 described species in the state. That's not even including the undescribed species, of which there are many. So trying to establish a catalog or a checklist of the species that we agree occur in the state. Next is develop baseline species distributions for those using museum specimens, community science data that's been gathered that can be verified, and also those found in the literature, and trying to assess those species using either NatureServe or the IUCN methodology to identify where our priorities should be. So which species are in greatest need of conservation. And then the next would be to identify the ecoregions and the habitats that those species are associated with amongst the 12 ecoregions in Texas, and then construct a sort of gap analysis to determine where do we have sampling gaps, where do we need to increase our sampling effort, and using that to really prioritize how we start this larger monitoring effort in the state. What we'd like to do, and I think what a lot of other states have done for native bees, but also for a variety of other taxa, is to focus on a spatially balanced model that's randomized on a grid system, so a GRITS sampling design. But we'd like to kind of weight it somewhat towards those areas that have a lot less sampling effort, in particular North Texas and West Texas. We know West Texas is going to have the highest native bee diversity in the state, just like New Mexico and Arizona have incredibly high species diversity. But we just don't have that many records for West Texas. So trying to focus those areas on this in places in the state where we really need to increase that effort, and trying to do it on a type of rotation. So, we can be monitoring trends over time. We'd like to use multiple sampling techniques as opposed to just passive or active techniques, and really trying to build the capacity. In order to do this, we're going to need to have taxonomists, we're going to need to have people who can process large volumes of material, and we're going to need the funding to do that. So we're trying to start prioritizing funding now. And within that funding, we've actually made some very exciting advances. Just last week, we were able to develop a collaborative working group amongst all the state wildlife agencies and our federal partners to advance invertebrate conservation, to really focus on how we can be collaborating across state boundaries. So thinking about things at the population level. And we like to start with native bees as kind of our pilot project, our proof of concept of how we might be able to make this work. and expand to other groups, because the climate is right to be working with one another to really be advancing what we know about these species and what we can do moving forward. Thank you so much, and I look forward to working with all of you throughout the coming years in the network.